Hi, everybody.
Hi there.
Hi.
Congratulations on this epic and wonderful series. It is just breathtaking the way it's shot and the way it's acted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll start with Jen. You've done so much in your career. What brought you to this?
It's funny because I thank you. That's very kind of you. I feel like there was no choosing, you know what I mean? Especially for actors. It's more just where can I get my next job? And as soon as this Pachinko started casting, I was immediately drawn to it, but with a sense of distant hope, you know what I mean? Like I didn't necessarily think like, oh, I choose this project, I'm going to do this next. It's more just what can I do to set myself up for the best audition for this incredibly difficult and exciting role. Um, I had read the book before the audition, so it was already, I was just thrilled to have the opportunity to try out to be a part of the story. But frankly, even as a viewer, I was more excited that this project was being made at all. Do you know what I mean? Separate from whether or not I'd book it, I just was really stoked to see this being made.
This is such a universal story. And as I said
Yeah,
before, it doesn't matter if you're German, Italian,
right.
whatever. I mean, family is family, and our histories are all kind of the same. We have heroes in our families. We have horse thieves in our families.
Hmm.
Uh, your role in this is such a layered role. I mean, as an actress, this must have been a joy to do.
Yes, absolutely. Um, Sue has so much love for Naomi, and I'm just so thankful that she wanted to tell that side of the story as well. And it meant a lot because my mom's from the same generation as Naomi, and I knew that she had gone through a lot when she was working. So to be able to portray her and to show the struggles of women in Japan during that time was very meaningful for me.
Tell me a little bit about your character, Jin.
What would you like to know?
Where does he come from, and his place in this family?
Solomon is, I would say, in certain aspects, I would say Solomon is a result of the sacrifices and the hard work and the accomplishments of his parents and his grandparents. Obviously, this story we focus on his grandmother as the main protagonist, um, but it is I think a very, as you said, relatable experience to be that first generation that has opportunity, unlike the people who came before, right? And I think there's a lot of pressure and weight and a sense of responsibility that somebody in that position carries. For me, I immigrated to America with my family when I was 7 or 8, and it was a similar, even though the specifics of our context are very different and why we moved and how we moved, but the experience of feeling the pressure or the weight, intentional or otherwise, of my family to represent and to excel, I think is very palpable, and I think it's relatable to so many people, and that is a lot of what I think drives his decisions and drives where he ends up in when we see him in 1989 when we first meet him coming back to Japan for the first time for this deal. Um, yeah, period. Actually, that was it.
I I think you both did incredible jobs in this, and
Thank you.
it's such a brilliant series. As I said, thank you so much for your time.
Thank
Thank
you. Really
you.
appreciate it.
Bye bye.
Have a good one.
Congratulations on Pachinko. This is an amazing story.
Do you think so? Thank
Oh,
you
I
so
do.
much. You appreciate our story.
Anything that has to do with family and in learning about uh, the history of family and where they're going in the future is a universal subject.
Right. But especially as a Korean, you, I've overheard about that time. You know, it was back in 100 years ago, I think. So through my mother, I heard about that time. So it was very, um, I could have a empathy with them more than anybody. So I was very happy to play this role.
Tell me a little bit about the role that you are playing, being a matriarch in this family.
Well, she didn't have any purpose to being a matriarch, but it happened to, life is always like that. You cannot plan ahead of time. You never know though. Life is full of surprise to me. So, well, I was very inspired by her life, her strength to survive in
Yeah.
critical condition like her. So,
She's
I,
a very deep character.
yes, yes. And then, well, luckily, I don't have to play my past, my younger part when she was struggling with all that mess she made or happened to her. But I was when I got the script, the age is 74, so it was suitable for my age. So then after I read the script first time, never felt that way before because I've been in this business such a long time, and then to me it's all the role is same to me, but this one somehow it just really connected me and felt like I had to play this role. And after I read the script, I bought the book, novel, the Pachinko. Then I read it and it gave me more 더 하고 싶어진 거 뭐라고 그래야 돼? Yes, yes. I have more desire to play this role. So it was a very unique experience. Usually, okay, I played this role, okay. But this really, I connected with her. Immediate connection between Sonja and me. I could play this role better than anybody.
Yeah.
I was thinking about myself.
I would imagine that there's a certain amount of, it must feel like a privilege to play somebody like this too, who's so strong and so, goes through so much
Yes.
in her life.
Yes, yes, exactly. Yes, I feel same way, like you.
Did you get along well with your other cast members?
Oh, yes, we did. Yes. And then my son and my grandson, Solomon, and they both were good actors. And then we shared all their story and my story. I mean, not in the book, not in the script, but my grandson is a Korean American, and my son who played Mojasu, and he said Chinese. So I asked him what is that word means, and then Korean Japanese, but they were proud being a Chinese, called by Chinese. It has a stronger than more stronger than Korean Japanese, because they are so proud of themselves exist in Japan as a Korean. So that
I want to thank you for your time this morning. It is such a beautiful story, and congratulations on taking that role. You do such a great job.
thank you so much. Do you think I did great job?
I did. Cross my heart. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Congratulations on Pachinko. What a beautiful, beautiful story this is.
Oh, thank you.
I put it in the same category as years ago, Roots, and it's just so universal about family, about where we come from, and about the struggles of our ancestors.
Yes, it is. I'm sorry. I just got like words.
Oh, well, And tell me about your characters as young Sunja.
Yes, Sanja is the woman. Well, I portrayed her as girl to woman, and she is very strong, also fragile, but very smart, and she's very flexible, and she knows how to survive despite all these difficulties that she is confronting. So yeah, the main two keywords that I really want to talk about her is fragile and resilience.
Yeah, she seems to have a capacity of bouncing back and overcoming obstacles in her life.
Mhm.
She is a hero.
Yeah, she's really a hero to herself and to her own family. And like you said, like even though she had a lot of obstacles during her lifetime, she just knows how to fit into those situations and how to solve the problems.
As an actress, when you're going into something this epic, this deep, and with all that's going on, I mean, do you take a moment and just breathe and go, boy, I am so lucky to be part of this?
Yes, I feel exactly like I was so proud of me to involve in this project, and I can make a voice of Sanja. So yeah.
It is such a beautiful, as I said, a beautiful story. Does it make you want to take a look back in your personal history and look at your ancestors as well?
Oh, well, yes, because while I was preparing for Sanja, I heard a lot of stories from my grandmother, my own grandmother, and she's obviously 94 years old. So she actually did suffer a lot of things very similar to what Sonja has suffered. So yeah, it reminds me of my grandmother a lot. So I think that's why I had a lot of responsibilities to portray these characters really well.
I think it's a beautiful thing for young people to seek out their grandparents or their granduncles and aunts and just talk to them about their life, because you'll learn so much that you didn't know.
Right. Yeah, like even though I had to, even though I thought that know the historical events, I didn't know how they actually felt, right? The emotions and the feelings that and their thoughts, the actual thoughts. So like it was great opportunity for me to get to know our, like my grandmother's generations and my parents' generations. So yeah.
I think that this speaks to every family, not just, just because it's a Korean family. I mean, you could just make this a German family or an Italian family,
Yes.
or,
Mhm.
and it's all kind of, we're all in the same boat.
Yes, right.
The similarities are there, and everybody needs to see this epic series.
Mhm. Yes, because like I feel like it's really, really about humanity and love and family that we really have to, acknowledge, and how, you know, our parents, our grand parents, and they protect our family, and that loves can just explain everything. So yeah.
And I think we, as the youth, or the younger generations of those, need to protect those stories and tell them. It's so important that we know our histories.
Yes, yes, I agree with that. Like if we have to know our history, obviously, and because if we check our past, we can, um, we can leave our current, you know, more
Now we can
wise.
navigate the future better.
Yeah, yeah, it's totally.
It is such a pleasure to talk to you, and
Thank you.
congratulations on such a great job.
Oh, thank you so much.
You take care.
Okay, thank you.
Sue,
Hi.
it is such a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you. Likewise.
Um, it's no easy task to create a show and get it on the air. I mean, get it to where people can see it. So that must have been a journey.
Yeah, I mean, we've been living with this for many years.
The idea sprang from your own personal roots?
Well, it's based on this incredible novel that I read now about a little over 4 years ago, and took the novel to the studio, and we just got such a warm reception and enthusiastic reception, and then we took it out to the marketplace.
And delightfully so. This is such an epic story, but it's a story that's so universal. And I don't think it matters if you're Korean or German or Italian or whatever.
Yeah.
Family is family, and I think we all share some of the same history and people in our families.
Yeah. I mean, I always like to say that we all have a Sunja somewhere in our lives, right? Somewhere in our past, we have that Sunja, that person who brick by brick built the foundations of who we are now. That's universal.
Yeah, and I think people watching this are going to glean from the episodes that we're all in the same kind of boat together, and in discovering our past, it shows us a kind of future that we can strive for.
No, I love that. Yeah, I love that.
Uh, has this made you look at your family differently?
I absolutely. I think more than differently, I think it's filled in so many of the blank spaces, right? And I just have this tremendous, tremendous gratitude for what my parents have done, what my grandparents have done. I think the show has helped me understand just what happened to them.
In heading the show like you do, I mean, I'm sure that there is tons of minutia that must run across your desk on a daily basis. Do you handle those, or do you have assistants that take care of, what color this should be and all of that? Or are you personally involved with every step of this program?
I think it totally depends, but we have this incredible, incredible team. This is it takes a true army to make TV shows. Our visionary directors, all of our department heads, from makeup to wardrobe to production design. We had food historians. I mean, the amount of people who really build this together is astonishing.
Yeah, it's no small village, especially on something that's this epic, and this goes back into the past as well. Getting it right is one of those things that's very important to the continuity and to inform your actors as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and so many of our actors had to do their own digging and excavating of the story and the history, because they had to build their characters from inside out.
Well, this is a beautifully done show. I love the wisps of humor through it. I love the dramatic parts in this. It just is so human. So thank you so much for bringing this to us.
Thank you.